Hello!
Oh, this is great. It's just amazing.
Hello.
Hello.
Beautiful.
Hi,
Do you
how are
hear
you
us?
guys?
Mom,
Yes, I
Have no sound.
Okay, so I'll tell you where I am. I'm in Africa, in a country called Zambia. Okay, it's not the same as South Africa, but it is in the southern part of the continent. Okay, so maybe we should all discuss where each other are from.
Oh, we are from Russia, Moscow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
To Zambia. We are glad to see you today with us in Skype session.
It's wonderful to see you guys too. Thank you so much.
Okay,
And what about you?
We are from Russia too,
Yeah.
in Middle Europe.
Okay, that's amazing. Isn't this incredible? Here we are, 2 places in Russia, 1 place in Delhi, India, and me in Zambia, and we're all having a discussion. It's incredible. It's wonderful. Very exciting. Yeah. Okay, so I've met Mrs. Zha's class a little bit a few days back. Hi guys, nice to see you again. Can you hear me there? Oh, you can hear me. Good. Okay, good. First of all, before we start, as you know, I'm in Africa, all right, and I've published a book, so I'm an author, and I'm also a painter. Okay. The book I've published is called The Gadons. It's a crazy imaginary tale. Okay. And before we say any more, who's got questions for me before we say any more? Yes, in India there.
When we were frozen.
Yes.
We were frozen. Is it dark from our side? Ma'am, first of all, is it dark from our side?
No, it's okay. It's not too bad. I can see your faces.
Okay, ma'am, the last time when you preached with us and I was asking you the question, from where did you come up with the ideas for words like foo snags and gadoms and goody buttons well? So you were answering me that.
Okay, yes, great. Your name is Sivana, is that right?
Shivani. Yes.
Sivani. Okay, I remember you, Sivani. Okay, so I used words to, I made up names, shall we say, to try and give you a feeling of the place or the character that we were dealing with. Okay, so Sivani, you had an opinion. You were very perceptive, okay, on the foo snags, all right, and you agreed that they're probably not such nice guys, all right, and you were quite, yeah. And how did you decide that the foo snags were not so good? What gave you that clue?
Because when anybody says the word snag and it comes into my mind, it does not seem like such a nice word to use. It
exactly,
because it's going to snap at you and mean things like that.
Yeah, a snag is a bit of a problem. Hey, yes, and the foo snags are not nice guys. All right, and they're destroying their environment and stuff like that. So I used words like goodly buttons. Well, it's got good and it's a beautiful place, okay, as we discussed the other day. So I used words like that. Right now, who knows, I know it might be difficult if English isn't the first language for anyone, but who knows what the word abomination means?
Abomination.
Yeah.
Table means weird. And abomination.
It's not a good thing, is it?
No.
Okay, an abomination is a real mess of something. It's not great. Okay, and the foo snags capital city is called Abominatia. So what do you think? Do you think it's a good place?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's how I came up with the names of places. Okay. You guys in Russia, I just want to say I'm so excited to see you guys in Russia as well. I'm still amazed that we're all meeting here together, India, Africa, and Russia. Too exciting. Anyway, all right. So I know it's incredible. So, right, you kids in Russia, have you got any questions about, it can be about life in Africa, it can be about being an author or being a painter. Any questions at all? Don't be shy, guys.
We are too shy sometimes because it's our first Skype session with around the world and entertainers, but it's very interesting to see what is the weather like today in Russia. You have summer, and today in Moscow it's a lot of snow. And
Wow. There's some sound disturbance there, but I think we were discussing the weather. You said it's very cold and snowing there in Russia. Is that right?
yes, but it's
Okay.
We until you decide to become writer. It's my write children.
Okay. Well, I have 4 children myself. Okay. Now, 2 of them are my biological children.
Helena has 4 children too. Helena.
4 children. Oh, lovely, Helena.
Yes, we are waiting the 5th children. Oh, sorry, baby.
Well, 2 of my children are biologically mine, and 2 of them are my stepchildren. Okay. I don't know if all your kids understand what stepchildren are as opposed to biological children.
We do.
Okay. All right. You understand? Okay. But okay, good. So, but to me, they're all my children, and I love them dearly. Okay. And what inspired me to write a children's book was the one day I was sitting on our veranda, which some of you may know as a porch. The Americans call it a porch. The English call it a veranda. Okay. And I was watching my kids playing when they were much younger. And they really inspired me because even though we are a blended family, our children are so close. They're a real team. Okay. I'll tell you, it amazed me because there's often a stereotype idea of step families, blended families, that they're full of problems. And I was so moved by this wonderful bond between our 4 children that I decided to write a story where the 4 characters were based on them. So these little fluffy guys, okay, which are called gadumps, and you can see they're flying.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, and they're based on our children, on my children. They, this guy, he's actually upside down there. You can see him now. Okay, that's Goose. All right, and there's Boo, and there's Daddle, and there is Bear. That's right. Okay, and I promise my children are human beings. They're not little fluffy creatures. Okay, but they have normal names. Okay, their names are Angus, Sarah, Russell, and Connor. All right, but we're a bit of a crazy family. We never use their real names. We always use their nicknames. Do you guys all know what a nickname is?
Yes.
Okay, my daughter asks you, what is your favorite Africa food?
My favorite ethnicity of food. Wow, that's a tough one. Okay, now I'm not just saying this because we have a group here from India, but honestly, I love curry and I love proper Indian curry. But then I also love steak.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so, no problem. But so it was my own children that made me want to write a book for children and base the 4 characters on my 4 children.
Do you eat camels?
Do we eat camels?
Yeah, in Africa.
That's a lovely question. No, we don't eat camels. Actually, in Zambia, we have no camels at all. It's very green. So we were just chatting earlier on about the weather in Russia. So I'm going to take my computer outside to show you the weather we've got right here, right now. Okay. I can't go out too much because we're actually having gentle rain.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay. So that's the garden around my home. Okay. It's very, very beautiful. Okay, so we're very lucky with that. And where I am sitting and talking to you is inside my little studio. Okay, which is where I do my painting and my writing. Okay, and the view from my studio is like that. You can see my son's bicycles there, but I have used natural poles, natural shaped poles here instead of straight pillars because I felt that was a little bit more artistic when we built the studio. So the weather here, it's our rainy season right now. So it's cool, but still we can wear t-shirts and warm weather clothes. And it's not cold. And we still get
Ma'am, can you please show us some of the paintings?
Okay, India, ask you. Russia. Yes, sorry.
Russia. We'd like our students like to show you our snow and our winter. We have a lot of snow today. One moment.
I would love to see that. I would really love to.
That's why.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I can see the snow on the trees there. Oh, wow. Wow, that's pretty. Isn't that beautiful? I would say that's probably very different to India as well.
Ma'am, we were asking that if you could show us some of your paintings.
Oh yes, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to pick up. So at the moment, this painting I'm about to show you is only halfway completed or less. I'm still working on it. Okay, so now, right, I'm trying to get it to a point where you can see it. All right, so that animal there, okay, is it focused? Okay.
Ma'am,
That animal there is it okay?
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so that the one in the front is an African wild dog. Well, they're both African wild dogs, but this one is nearly complete. And at the one in the back, you can see I'm still working on. Okay, and as we go back, it might be easier if I actually pick up the painting. But as we go back, there you can see it more of the background. Are you all seeing it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it's part of a pair. Okay, so this is the other one that I'm also working on. All right, and you can see that the wild dogs are still only drawings. I haven't put any paint. I've just done a rough drawing. And then later I'll paint them, okay? And this is another one I'm working on, which is totally different, okay? This is very colorful, and it's of an African market scene. I'm battling to get it.
How long do you guys want teacher?
Okay, that varies. I mean, I recently did a very colorful scene of an African city, which stood 1.5 meters high and 2.5 meters across. So it was huge. And that took me about 2 months to paint. These ones I'm working on now, which are a lot smaller, but they're still quite large. I think it'll be maybe 1 month of painting the two together because I work on them both together because they're a pair. So it depends very much. Sometimes I do sharp, realistic work, and that takes more time. Other times I do more impressionistic work, and that's a bit quicker. I use them very much to express different things. That's why I like doing such different work. Yeah. Okay, does that answer your question?
Ma'am, I want to recite a poem in Hindi language, in our native language. She wants to recite a poem in our native language.
I would love to hear a poem in your language. Yes, please.
This poem is about puppets, about feelings of puppets.
Okay.
कठपुतली गुस्से से उठी, बोली, ये धागे क्यों है मेरे आगे पीछे, इन्हें तोड़ दो, मुझे मेरे पाँव पर छोड़ दो। ये सुनकर बोली और कठपुतलियाँ, बहुत दिन हुए अपने मन के छन छुए, मगर पहली कठपुतली सोचने लगी कि ये कैसी इच्छा है मेरे मन में जगी। थैंक यू।
That's wonderful. What a bravo. What a beautiful sounding language. That's amazing. And can you give us a translation?
Yes, I'll do that for you. So there's one puppet and she is very angry and she's thinking that why do I always have to be tied? Why don't I get freedom? So, and she's talking to her fellow puppets, and then they all start saying, yes, that's a great idea. We should get freedom. So after everybody starts to think that this is a good idea, then and all the responsibilities on the first puppet, he starts to think, how will I take responsibility of them all? Why did I even think of such a thing? Let's just go back being normal puppets. So ma'am, we are actually building.
That is wonderful, and there's a very important message in that poem, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes, we prepare for you a small presentation about our poets and writers in Russia. If you like, we can show you it.
We would love that. We would really love that.
One moment, I prepare. Okay, good. These are the greatest Russian writers. They are Lev Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Alexander Solzhenitsyn. The next one is great Russian poets. They are Sergei Yesenin, Alexander Pushkin, and Mikhail Lermontov. And now one of our students tell you the poem, a part of the poem of Mikhail Lermontov in Syria. Ksusha, please do it.
Все лучше перестям не быть, словами облегчить не грудь. Но людям я не делал зла, и потому мои дела немного пользы вам знать. От души можно это сказать. Мало жил в плену, таких две жизни за одну.
We have problems now with the sound. Can you hear us? And the most interesting poems in Russian have first, and we have a small presentation for you. Okay.
Girls in the loud voice, please.
Yeah, nice and loud, girls.
Хорошо. Проказница мартышка, осел, козел, да колсала примишка.
Russian fairy tale, Vasilika the Beautiful.
Yeah, Russian. Yeah.
So it's a story basically, some parts of Cinderella kept together with other parts. Though it's very interesting, the part when Vasilika goes to the cottage of Baba Yaga.
Yes, you can cottage of Baba Yaga. And Kashey Bessmertny, yes, without that, who can't die never. And it's a special house for her on the kitchen legs.
Yes,
and you can run and jump very, very big and fast. Yes, we have it. Of course, in every hour.
When I go on Skype sessions all over the world, something that I see and that I really, really love is when I look at us all, when I look at the teachers, when I look at you wonderful kids, you wonderful children, is that in spite of our external differences that appear to be different, we're actually not different. We're all after the same thing in life, you know, and I see kids from all over the world that are just so similar, and it's a wonderful reminder to us that we really are a global village, and a wonderful reminder that as human beings, as humanity, we must always recognize those likenesses in each other and respect and love the likenesses, which helps us to respect and love our differences. It's true, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also go, there's a message that I love to tell young people, okay, because one of the inspirations for my story was an opportunity to write a story that used each one of my 4 children as a member of a team, and they're so different to each other, and I wanted to illustrate how their differences make them equally important to the team and equally necessary to the team. And I also wanted each character to have to dip into their own hero, because I believe that every single human being has a hero inside of them. Now, whether it's like the movies and you're saving the world, or whether it's just real life and you're befriending somebody who is lonely, Perhaps in schools we need to encourage our students to find that hero inside and remember that each and every one of us is a hero in our own way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, it looks like Russia has a question.
Yes, we have.
Can you read some short stories from books?
Would you like me to read a little bit from my book?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read a short section just from the introduction, because the book is aimed at people a bit younger than you, okay? But the introduction gives you an idea of the basis and where the story is based. Okay, can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I'm actually reading you the prologue, which is before chapter 1, okay? Long, long ago, in another time and place, a mystical continent stood proud between the warm Imagian Ocean in the east and the icy Mysteriatic Sea in the west. Okay, so let's just stop there for a second. Imagian Ocean, who can tell me how I came up with that name? Yes, Sivani.
Imagine ocean. Imagine ocean, like maybe because we write, and when we write from hearts, it all comes from our imagination when we are writing from our hearts. So that is how you found the name for Imagine Ocean. It's an ocean filled with imagination of thousands of people.
Exactly. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that interpretation. That's wonderful. Right, so I'll carry on reading. This continent, called Figmentica, was so diverse and unusual that you may not even believe in it. Whimsical and wonderful creatures lived there. They came in all sorts of colors, shapes, sizes, and consistencies. Some of the creatures were delightful, but others were utterly ghastly. This story does not take you all over Figmentica. Such a large continent would take many stories to cover. Are you guys in India hearing me?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, all right, because you were frowning for a second, so I thought maybe I'd lost you. Okay. 4 extraordinary countries formed the very heart of Figmentica, and this is where our story happens. So, basically, there's another word there that I played with, okay? Figmentica, any ideas? Yes. Any ideas where I got that from? Yes, Sivani.
Figmentica. From Figmentica, if I'm hearing a name, it seems like a place made from pigments of all other places. A continent made from pigments of diverse culture and diversity from every place.
Wow, that's even better than the actual reason. That's beautiful. All right, it's because it was a figment of my imagination. Okay, sorry, is that what you were going to say?
She is everything.
But
Imagination.
Not the figment. Yeah, but that it's a figment of everywhere else is just beautiful. I think you should become a writer.
Yeah.
Right, so it looks like Russia might have some girls waiting to ask questions. I've never tried Russian food. I would love to. I would love to visit Russia. Oh my goodness, that would be very exciting. What are some of your staple dishes in Russia?
We have beef, meat, borscht, potatoes, пельмени, холодец. Try one in Russian. We love to.
Okay, so very similar to us. Isn't pork in Russia supposed to be very good?
Some children from my class would like to sing a song for you.
Oh, we would love that. That would be great. Thank you.
माने ना कोई माने ना यहाँ अपनी भी थोड़ी अदा थोड़ा अंदाज है ऐसे हैं चाहे वैसे हैं पर जो भी है जैसे है खुद पे हमें नाज है जाने ना हमको ये ज़माना कहते हैं हमको प्यार Yeah, so you have that kind of physical training, and it takes years to be a good ballerina, and it isn't easy because there should be a lot of flexibility in your feet and their joints there to be a ballerina. So, and it takes also a lot of flexibility. So in India, we have yoga instead of ballet.
Yeah.
It counts flexibility also. I would like to show you some asanas of yoga.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see that. I love yoga. This is so much fun.
It's amazing. No words.
It's incredible, Elena, isn't it? It's wonderful.
Wow.
Wow, look at it.
Whoa.
Wow. Wow, bravo.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. It's amazing.
Thanks a lot. Oh. Oh, I can't do it.
Incredible. That's incredible. That is absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed.
I died by this, okay.
Me too.
Okay.
Well done. Thank you so much, Svani. Bravo. I wanted you to tell us about the song that your kids just did for us.
It's the winter song, of course, because we have the winter now. And about these fine sponsors. And about
Okay.
food and food regulations for everywhere. This song was written for the film about love, of course.
Yes, always.
This is the first song that we can imagine without this preparation. It is 3 white horses. It's fun. Because we don't prepare it, of course, we have it right now for your special they want it, and then we show you.
Fantastic. Okay, great. I just got a little bit confused there for a moment because the sound was breaking in and out. But another little thing I'd like to point out is you kids in India are all wearing a school uniform, okay? And you kids in you kids in Russia are not. Now, where I went to school, where I went to school, I also wore a uniform. So I understand how you guys feel about the uniform. But then I went to the United States for 1 year as an exchange student. So I got to experience not wearing a uniform. Okay. So I've experienced both. All right. But it's interesting again. We have these differences and yet we're all so similar. You kids that wear uniforms, how do you think you would feel about not wearing uniforms?
Very good.
Okay.
I feel good. Okay, when we discuss in Russia, some schools decide that they would like uniform and their children wear uniform at school every day. But in our school, we have no obligatory uniform. That's why our children can choose. Would they like to have? In elementary school, it is obligatory and we should wear the uniform. When we go to middle school and high school, we haven't got special uniform, but it would be official Thailand is enough.
Okay.
Functional expression, yes.
That's very interesting. Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, because now to the kids that are in uniform all the time, I remember feeling a bit like Sivani describes. I would love to not wear a uniform. But what was interesting is when I went to the United States for 1 year, after about 2 months of school, I actually was quite tired of not wearing a uniform because I had to think every day about what I was going to wear. Okay. And then there was that pressure that you feel, are my clothes good enough? Okay. Are they fashionable? Are they trendy? Are they not? Should I put makeup on? Should I not? Whereas when I wore a uniform, which I hated and I thought was ugly and boring, I actually didn't have to worry about any of that. So there are pros and cons, both sides. There definitely are.
Yeah, the other thought, sometimes, like if there is no school uniform then we may face discrimination or something.
Oh no,
Okay.
we have
Isn't it?
they try to be not peer person, but because someone who's so fast and by here in school and because you have a lot of students, you can fall down in the corridors. That's why it's not comfortable to have wearing beach clothes. No, we have. It's normal education. We have very beautiful clothes and we have a comfortable
Okay.
to move.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Elena, I notice it's just you and your daughter. Are you homeschooling or
Yes.
because again, it's a different scenario.
Homeschooling, because I think the homeschooling is a great way of education, and I teach my daughter myself, yes, and I think it's better than go to school and do all lessons, because school is boring.
Okay, so isn't that interesting for you guys at big schools? Isn't it interesting to hear the perspective of somebody at a homeschool? Okay, as I'm sure that you enjoy being part of a classroom in this scenario, Elena, because it's wonderful. Again, we celebrate diversity, don't we? And the different ideas and the different beliefs,
Yes.
which is wonderful. Yeah. And it's something that my book touches on as well. Sometimes the characters in my book have made assumptions before they meet another. They're all creatures. There's no people at all in the book, so they're all fantasy creatures. But they make assumptions. For example, they're these what the Gadumps believe are monsters. They're called things. Okay, and the Gadumps have all lived in terror of these things. And when they actually meet them, they discover that they are two cute little rabbits, okay, who are just loving and cuddly and sweet. And it's a great thing for us to all connect like this and realize, you know, again, our likenesses and how we should never make assumptions about those we do not know about, okay?
Yeah.
So that's again why this forum is so amazing, so amazing. Yeah. Another thing I like to describe is that art, whether it's painting and drawing, okay, or it's illustrating for a book, or whether it's writing, or we've talked about ballet, so whether it's dancing or ballet, okay, can be used as a form of expression, okay? So we've discussed various things that I've wanted to touch on in my book, like not making assumptions about people and places you don't know about, okay? Also about teamwork and about how every individual is so important to a team, okay, and that our differences are why it's important that we have those differences, because we all have so much to contribute as individuals. And we've also seen different kinds of paintings that I've done which express different things, okay. I didn't get to talk much about that, but when I do market scenes or city scenes of Africa, I make them very colorful and very vibrant, because many people, when they come to Africa and they see the cities and the markets, they see poverty, okay, and they see dirt, and they see a struggle. And although those things are definitely there, again, we go back to the hero inside of people. I also see the vibrant, beautiful, amazing colors that the African people love to wear, okay. I see how they will wear colors that people in the first world are quite shy of. In India, you're not shy of color either, which is a wonderful thing, okay. And I also see heroism in that if a woman selling her fruit at the market sells 1 hour and she's so happy about it, okay, and she's poor and that means a lot to her, and that they struggle every day to make a living, and that is its own form of heroism. And in spite of their struggle, how friendly and how cheerful and how wonderful the African people can be. Well, you guys, it has been absolutely wonderful. meeting you all and talking to you all. And I love it that we've had a homeschool class. We've had one class, a normal class in Russia, and another normal class in, well, normal, what's normal, but a big class in Russia and a big class in India. Okay. And thank you for joining me, and thank you for inviting me. And honestly, I took this on in the hope that I could give you guys some content, but honestly, I feel very honored because I feel that I'm actually probably more inspired by you than I could even inspire you. So thank you very much. You've shown me so much, and it's been wonderful. It really has been special.